Hello, welcome to Wednesday's live stream. I go live every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific and every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific and every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific. So we're here. I'm here to answer your questions about mental health, toxic relationships in general, but especially if you are coping with or healing from a toxic relationship with a narcissist. I do specialize in personality disorders, and I have a course on thriving after narcissistic abuse and toxic relationships. So not just surviving, not just getting out of it or whatever. Like when you get out of those relationships or you're learning from them and healing from them, I want you to thrive. And it couldn't really be the best thing that ever happened to you if you can heal from it properly. Because a lot of people, when they get out of a toxic relationship, they repeat the same patterns. So they, instead of, and it happens, like it's happened to me, but instead of asking yourself, okay, how did I get in this situation? Sometimes you're in so deep, it's like, oh my God, this started off so amazing. And then this other person emerged, and you may or may have not like ignored some red flags. So I just don't want you to repeat that. I want you to take that, and maybe that could be your rock bottom moment, but then it's like from there, your life gets to accelerate, and it really can. I've said this before, that toxic relationships or any rock bottom moment could really be the best thing that ever happened to you. That's why you hear that in, these 12-step groups. Sometimes it's because they talk about the rock bottom moment, because that could lead to the rest of your life being so much better than you ever imagined in every area of your life: your health, wealth, relationships, career, your relationship with higher power, whatever you call that. So yeah, please let me know if you have any questions. If you've been coming to the live stream, let me know how you're doing, how the week is going, how on Sundays we talk about like what's our intention for the week. And so like, oops, sorry, I was looking up my comments because I'm gonna in my comments and in my DMs I answer your questions here. But yeah, so if you have any updates on that, let me know on your progress for the week, or what your intentions were for the week, and if you're following through on it, or even if you're not and like you need help, if you're feeling stuck mentally or emotionally, like let me know. We could talk about it. So because that happens sometimes. It's like, hey, I wanted to get X, Y, and Z done, and I'm feeling really stuck right now. I can help you with that too. So yeah, if you're just joining, hello Dolviv, nice to see you. Yes, I'm going to answer your questions about mental health, relationships, narcissists, dealing with any type of toxic person. So I'm talking about borderlines, narcissists, sociopaths, that type of thing, because I do specialize in personality disorders. And I'm going to jump into the first question. Feel free to write your question in the comment. So because I did 2 posts, and they're actually just clips from Soothing Sundays, the live stream on Soothing Sundays, about the fact that narcissists really like to tear you down in every way they can, including sexually. And oftentimes it's to, make you feel terrible about yourself, because if you have an intimate relationship with someone and then they're telling you that you aren't attractive, or you're not doing this right, or you must be so run through, or just like, oh, you're a whore, or whatever, like whatever they can. And so those clips that I put up, they were very helpful to a lot of people, and I got more questions about it, and like even more of the hot wife stuff. Like, is that okay if I don't want? No, if you don't want to do something, you have boundaries. Everyone has boundaries around their sexuality, for sure, but also just around everything in life. You have boundaries, and narcissists are always trying to push them. They're always trying to keep you up. Like when you want to go to bed, they just will exhaust you in every way you can, and then make you feel unreasonable about it, which only adds to the devaluing process even more. So someone actually DM'd me, and she didn't want, and I understand that, especially with this sensitive type of thing. And she's like, what if they say, are you run through, or they're jealous of previous partners? So yes, when they're name calling, like, oh, you're so run through, I hate, like, even if it's true about someone, like maybe someone's a little bit more promiscuous or whatever, that's on them. Like, you don't need to ever call someone, especially that's your partner, run through. So I do see this with a lot of narcissistic men. You know, I did a few posts about this. Narcissistic men that are actually DL, secretly gay, and they hate women so much because they want to be women. They'll date women, treat them like shit, try to humble them and all these things because they actually hate women. They would, because they would want to be a woman so they could just freely, you know, do whatever they want with guys. So, but in the meantime, they just decide to take out all of their anger, all of their guilt and shame and self-hatred out into women. And so this woman was like, yeah, that happened to me. Like, I was dating this narcissist and he called me like a slut and run through. And like, she's like, I've only been with like 5 people, but it was like he was jealous of like my exes and called me a slut, even though he'd been with so many other more women. And then he really liked being around his guy friends more. And then the other thing that she said is that he said that it was her fault that she had like something like a sexual assault happened to her. So that sounds terrible. And it is a very common thing that narcissists and sociopaths do. That is real victim blaming. Like, if something like that, like an assault happens to you and you are told that it's your fault, or I can see why that happened, that's not okay. That's not normal. That's beyond the, you know, sometimes we say things we don't mean, you know, we get in the heat of things. That is way out of it. You know, that's not even, that is completely abusive. And so, especially when you are in an intimate relationship with someone, you don't ever, there's no circumstance where you should do that, but especially this. And then she was saying that the narcissist that she was dating was blaming it on like, oh, well, I live in the patriarch or whatever. That has nothing to do with anything. You know how to treat women with respect. You know how to, everyone knows how to, there are laws in place if you don't know. And then there are things that you do and don't say. So, but when we're in these abusive relationships, literally, we can start off with boundaries. We could start off kind of strong. Sometimes the narcissist or sociopath looks for people that are strong and have a lot of things going for them and see how much they can tear that person down. So I do meet people in my private practice that used to say, oh, or they come in and they're like, I used to know who I was. I feel so beaten down. I don't know who I am. So if that's you, please don't judge yourself. It's okay. I've been there. So, but know that like part of the process is to separate from that abuse and understand who you are. Understand what your boundaries are. Understand what your standards are. There's a reason that I talk about your standards all the time. And I really encourage you guys to decide, really, really decide what your standards are in every area of your life. Because once you do, you're only going to default to your standards in terms of how people treat you, how you show up for yourself, all of those things. So, but this person is in a place where she's just really like in the thick of it, really lost and kind of lost her sense of identity and really kind of her boundaries kind of eroded. So, and I was just encouraging, like I did in the video, and I am again right now, is to know that you are loved. And that's why, you know, those videos that I have about the affirmations that I have about rewiring your brain to for healthy relationships is about like, you are loved and you are safe and you are seen and all of that. So coming back to that, and you know, I know it's hard sometimes, but you got to just break up with these people. I'll get back to the questions I got. Let me look at what we got here. I love intelligent people as well. Dolive, what the limit? I don't know what that question is. What the limit from live yourself from stars? I think that you mean the word narcissist, but if you could rewrite that question. In the heat of the moment, let's see. Hey, Miss Priya, how are you? And I have a BA in criminology, and it's interesting what you speak about. Yeah, I used to be a forensic therapist, do psych assessments for people that got out of prison. Miss Priya, does moving to new places help you heal, like a new town, country, or city? That's a good question. So if you are not doing any of the inner work, sometimes you'll think something outside of you is going to fix that. So the short answer is, if you're not doing any work, then nothing. You can move across town, you can move across the country or the world, and your problems will meet you right there. So, if you are doing the inner work, yeah, a change of scenery could be nice, or even going for a trip to the beach or whatever feels right to you. But if you think that a location is going to solve an issue or make things better, it won't. You have to be doing the inner work. And a lot of times when we do the inner work, our preferences change, and then things we used to tolerate change. It's like, you know what? I don't want to live in this place. I want to live somewhere really nice, and I want to do this. And like, I actually only moved here because I was in this relationship, and now I want to live where I actually want to live. So if that's a good reason to move. But if you're just moving to in the hopes that the situation will get better, it's not going to get better. But good question, because a lot of people, it's called pulling a geographic. Like, you just think that you're going to move and things are going to get better. No. Or is it, let's see. Or is that running away from you? Yeah, it can be totally running away from your problems. You have to do the inner work. You know that quote, wherever you go, there you are? That's exactly what that means. A lot of people that don't want to take accountability for their behavior, they're like, okay, well, I'm just going to move. I'm just going to do this. It's like, you're still going to have the same issue. Your patterns are literally feedback loops. The patterns in your life are feedback loops. That's why my whole thing is about uninstalling or dismantling that feedback loop, and literally like uninstalling that program and then downloading a new program. So you're running on better software, and you have like higher and better feedback loops that are actually serving you and creating the outcomes that you want in your life. Okay, fucking don't write stupid shit like this. Do not write anything sexual. I will kick you out of this. That's why I love this streaming software that I have, is because I will delete you, and you won't even be able to ever come into, like, you won't be able to ever see any of my content ever again, let alone be on this live stream. So shut the fuck up. Thank you. Let's see. What? Dumb. Okay. Influencers sell us the move and travel. Yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of the influencer thing is like, look how much money I made and I get to travel the world, which is fine. Like, financial freedom is something everyone wants. I don't know of any influencers saying like, move and your problems will be solved, Miss Priya, but I think it's just that, and I do think that that's what people want. So, okay. Let's see. Okay, let me know if you have any questions about mental health, relationships, narcissistic abuse, murder cook. Can you run your life and not go anywhere? It's good to deal with your problems. You can run all your life and not go anywhere. Yes. Yeah, problems are an opportunity for growth, and people, yeah, you could run away like physically thinking that moving is going to do it. People try to run from their problems by numbing out, like using alcohol, TV, anything, or you could just literally like blank out, like go into kind of like a paralysis. There's so many ways to numb out and not deal with your problems. And the thing is that like you can, let me delete this person. Okay, I'm gonna say your name, BD, whatever. Like, you're fucking done. Bye. So like, you can do that in a lot of ways. There's so many ways to numb out. I mean, even doom scrolling, right? There's a plethora of ways, but your problems will still always be there. And I promise you, you need to, okay, so now you're banned from my channel and you could never, what a fucking loser. Like, I don't even understand. Like, and this is what I mean. Like, so someone that's like trying to spam my thing, think about like what a fucking low life that person is. And like, you are trying to numb out so bad that you're on a live stream about mental health. I mean, I'm not like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm in Cancun, which is fine if you're doing that, if you're one of those influencers or whatever, but it's just like, I'm not. And then you're trying to, hi, BD Bob, you know what? I'm just going to say Bob because I always like stumble my words. BPD Bob, how are you? I know, like, I'm going to give you here. I'm going to put this poop person in a timeout. If you fucking start up again, then I'm going to delete you from my channel forever. Like, and I just don't want you to spam anyone else's, but it's like how much of a fucking low life are you if that's all you can think to do, right? Okay, so now I'm poop, whatever your name is, I'm banning you. Bye. You're banned from forever. You won't even be able to watch my videos. Let me see. But what really is a problem, most of our judgments on situations influences emotional reaction. Yeah. If you don't have a high level of awareness, it can do that. But yeah, it kind of sound like you're drinking. I just banned him right now. He can't even like watch a video of mine. He's banned forever. The acronym is rough for mini, LOL. Oh, Bob works perfectly. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Bob. Yeah, I did ban him. Like, grow the fuck up. So anyway, if you guys have questions or like updates, let me know. Let me know if you guys have updates. If you're here on a regular basis or you stop by, especially on Sundays, we'll go over like, what are your intentions for the week? What are your do you have any wins that you want to celebrate? Yes, you got flushed. Are there any wins you want to celebrate? Is anything on your mind? Do you have any, like I already said, do you have any questions? But it's also so important to celebrate your wins, guys, because so often, especially if you're like a high performing individual or you're just really hard on yourself, you're like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? Okay, I got these all like checked off the list. And I'm all about checking things off a list. You get that little dopamine hit, that's great. But it's like, can you celebrate that? Even if it's like, oh, I had a different reaction to that. I went to bed a little earlier. I didn't react the same way. I was able to incorporate positive pattern disruption, because that's a big thing that we talk about here is positive pattern disruption. You cannot create a new feedback loop if you don't have that positive pattern disruption. It's like, okay, I usually do this and that's my knee-jerk reaction. And maybe in the past that really worked for me. You know, maybe in the past that's the only coping skill I had. And now I can pause and then create all or incorporate all these other things that can serve me better, like Miss Priya, like we talked about this with her. And so instead of reacting right away to someone's comments in the comment section, she went for a walk and then she did 50 squats. And that, you know, also gives you a dopamine hit more than just trying to argue with people online that are just trying to, you know, get on underneath your skin for no reason. Let's see here. My visor. Well, you know what? Just eat the donuts in moderation. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to go back to some of the questions that I got here. And sorry, I lost my oh yes, and you know, narcissists and toxic people love to ruin holidays or any event that's important to you. So if this has happened to you, I mean, I don't love it, but like I love that there's more awareness around this. But you know, sometimes on social media you'll see like a narcissist or like this woman get married to a narcissist and then the groom ruins the cake and stuff like that. That's like, those aren't actors. Those are that actually happens. And so the more important an event is to you, the narcissist or toxic person will go out of their way to ruin it and then not take any accountability. Be like, what? Whatever. I just got emotional. I was drunk. It does not matter if you're drunk, by the way. Please never accept that as an excuse. Is like, I was drunk for anything. And narcissists and alcoholics or addicts will say that, like, oh, I was on drugs, I was drunk. First of all, addiction and narcissism, they mirror each other so much because it's all about them and they never take any accountability for anything, so they can keep doing their thing. And a lot of narcissists have addiction issues because the shame that they have around who they are is so deep. So a lot of times they're like, oh, I don't know if they're narcissists or they're just addicts. They could be both. And they are often both. And this isn't, but it can be treated. It's just, is the willingness there? What the fuck? Angel, get on my fucking podcast or live stream if you're talking. I don't even know. Like, just go away, please. Good evening, Star. Let's see. Little Terabyte says it sucks that we still need dopamine hits, even if they come from daily. It doesn't suck. Like, dopamine is like a neurotransmitter. It's a healthy neurotransmitter. We just want to get dopamine hits in healthy ways. And so if we have a dopamine deficiency because of trauma or something, then we'll try to get dopamine through drugs or through really risky behavior. So if you have a dopamine deficiency, I would do some trauma work. I would I would make sure other biomarkers are okay, like you don't have any health issues. But dopamine is a healthy neurotransmitter to have in your brain. Otherwise, you wouldn't do anything. You wouldn't want to get out of bed, you'd be really depressed. But and that's okay. That can happen where it's just like nothing feels good. And you don't need to rush to take meds for that. You can really upregulate these parts of your brain naturally. And oftentimes when you use meds, they, tweak your brain in not a great way anyway. And when you get off of them, then you have a even greater dopamine deficiency. But there's nothing wrong with, we need dopamine for our brain, but can you get it in healthy ways? Like from working out and maybe getting a little exercise high, from just doing something that you've been putting off, that you feel so good if you did it. Those are healthy dopamine supplies. Let's see. What feeds drama? Bob, my dad used to be the opposite. If I ever had a problem, he would have a bigger one that needed to be, so that's a narcissist thing, right? So narcissists, they deflect, they're the victim. It kind of goes under reverse victim. It's like, oh, this happened to you. Well, this happened to me. And because so the attention goes back to them, and it's also completely invalidating your experience. So especially as a child, if it's like, Dad, my whatever knee hurts, or that bad thing happened at school, and your father is like, oh yeah, well this happened to me. Like, can you see how that's emotionally abusive? You're not getting seen or heard in any type of way. And the child interprets that as, my experience does not matter. I don't matter. And all that matters is my parent, my narcissistic parent. And so a child's self-concept and sense of self-worth can be very limited at that point. And it's really unfortunate. But Bob, it sounds like you've done such a lot of good work. But I am sorry that you had that experience, because that's not great. Little Terabyte, gaslighting, good times. Is someone gaslighting you? Deba, that's a really long, okay, I don't know what that whole thing says, but maybe just need a hug. We all need hugs. Hugs are important. Yes, give each other more hugs, especially from someone that you feel safe with. Nathan Hazelhurst, narcissistic people believe they are the smartest person. What's funny is that narcissistic people try to present themselves as if they are the smartest person in the room, but they oftentimes they're the dumbest, like straight up, they're kind of the stupidest, but they know that. They have such insecurity about their intellect, every part of themselves. We have to remember, because it's easy to forget, especially in the moment, narcissists think so poorly of themselves. Narcissists are literally the most insecure people on the planet. That's the only reason that set of defense mechanisms is so toxic, because they think so poorly of themselves and they refuse to take any kind of accountability. So what they're trying to do all the time is offload all of their shame, all of their guilt, all the self-disgust that they have for themselves. They're trying to offload it onto you. And they're also looking, because every person is just supply. They're just supply for, I need praise. Like that's what they're thinking. Will this person praise me, put me on a pedestal, all that? That's why the love bombing phase is so strong. Or I'm going to use this person as supply to completely degrade them and make them feel like shit. And oftentimes it's both, right? That's why you get in that narcissistic cycle of abuse. But yeah, they always come off like, I am the most intelligent. And a lot of them have like done impressive things. I've been very open about one of my exes that I have nicknamed Angry Midget. Like, he was an impressive person. And maybe some of that was fueled, but this is still no reason to be a dick, like, so, like, get over it. Everyone has insecurities. Go to therapy like everyone else, or come to my live stream. Let's see. Enlightened prophet. I find peace with God. Yes. Inner peace over external noise. Yeah. And I mean, that is the point of this healing. The more you heal, you get out of these survival states, which are all fear-based. All like fear is one of them, but like envy, like jealousy, being like anxious, depressed, worried, guilt and shame, those are all fear-based things, and they keep you in this low place. But the more that you heal, you get into these higher states of consciousness where you're like motivated and you have joy and you want to work towards your purpose, and you have a better relationship with God, or whatever you call your higher power. That's where we want to move to. And when you have the courage to do the healing, instead of just repeating the same old pattern, you become more in alignment with these higher states of consciousness and whatever you call your higher power. What if you are the smartest person in the room? I would say either congratulations, or you need to be around smarter people. I mean, I'm pretty intelligent, but I'm always looking to be around people that I can learn something from. And really, I really feel like you can learn something. Like, I have a set of skills, like we all do, but I'm not intelligent in other ways. So it's like, this person is super artistic, or this person is like a math savant, So there's always people that we could learn from. But if you're if you're the smartest person in the room, I don't know. I think that'd be kind of boring. Thank you, Simon. Little terabyte SSRIs. Thesaurus? Okay. Nathan. Yeah, I'm not, but like, if you're not writing anything productive, I'm gonna fucking kick you out. Like, I'm creating this safe, nice space for you guys to answer your questions, be vulnerable. If you're like trying to spam my shit, it's really not gonna work. And then you will be banned from, like, you won't even be able to look up my videos. So like, fuck off, please. Enlighten one. Yes. Breathing deep. I talk about breathing techniques a lot, because that's kind of the basis of everything. And I do feel like I say this, like, there are certain industries in place that don't want you to know how powerful your breathing is, especially breathing properly. Because think about it, it is something that you have to do. You can go a while without water and food, but you can't go that long without breathing. Okay, that's how connected it is to your livelihood and in your physical survival. So, and if you learn how to do it properly, and I just start with box breathing. If you just start there and you do it consciously as often as you can remember, I promise you, your cortisol levels will be so much lower, and you can think clear, you can fall asleep faster, all of those things. On Soothing Sundays, we start with whatever neurological reprogramming tool I teach you guys. We usually start with deep breathing. Thanks, Johnny. Michael. like I say, I'm in a home of disabled people. It's me, 5 disabled people. Hey, James, what's up? Hi, Lauren, blessed to be on the live stream. I'm blessed to have you here, James. How are you doing? Little terabyte weight training alleviates brain tension. Yes, it does. I'm always encouraging you guys to do something physical that you like in some type of way, even if you don't want to. Some of my clients, I'm literally annoying them. I'm like, did you work out today? You hired me to be annoying. I'm doing it. But I don't even think they like it, but I just do it anyway because it's like I'm invested in their, in their life and their improvement. Donnie, I'm sure this is the wrong place to come with your invisible. Okay. Anyway, Mikkel, what if he wants to be? I don't know what that means, Mikkel. Okay. Bob, I learned a lot. I don't regret my upbringing. That's a very good attitude to have. And sometimes in the healing process, we get in this like resentment around our upbringing. So Bob, to be in a place where you don't regret your upbringing is amazing. Had to take a long time in isolation to get my head on straight though. Isolation is underrated. I know it's hard and you don't want to do it long term, but to really heal, sometimes being by ourselves is very powerful. And I know like some of we have families or things like that, but if you can just especially isolate from the toxicity, if you grew up with toxic parents, especially if you're an adult, you can take a break from them. I don't care what messaging they told you. I don't care what family, the rules are in your religion or whatever, because sometimes those cannot take into consideration like your own mental health. And I come from a background like that, so I know. So you need to put yourself first. You get to be the main character in your story. And it sounds like that's what you did, Bob. My family sucks, but I still love them. It's a great attitude to have. I love mine from a distance. And that's about it. Married to narcs. Tell me about it. Oh, I'm sorry. How are you coping with that? Being married to narcs. Quake box. Bob. Oof, Quake. Cool. Yeah. Condolences. But you know what? You're in the right place because that is what I do. And a lot of my content is I show you how to cope with toxic people, narcissists, borderlines, and either cope with the relationship or learn how to remove yourself from the relationship in the healthiest way. But either way, just bring the attention back to you so you can live your life and thrive and have, because I mean, these narcissists, they're energy vampires and they want to drain the life out of you. So wherever you are, it's important to bring the energy back to you and become like the main character in your life again. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions, Quakebox. Yeah, this whole thing about everyone has a degree of, I mean, in psychology, there is healthy narcissism. Like you have to be able to look at yourself and put yourself first. But I'm talking about narcissistic personality disorder, obviously. Like, I don't know if you think you're like coming off like you're about to school me on something. That's not what we're talking about. Of course, there's something called healthy narcissism. I'm talking about the very corrosive narcissistic personality disorder. So if you have a question about that, like, if you think if you want to send me some article in my DMs to try to educate me about something, but I'm here to help you guys. It's really bad. I'm so sorry, Quakebox. It's tricky. Hello, it's tricky, Bob. I've dated narcs that was hell enough. Yeah. I can't imagine being married to one. I agree, Bob. But that's okay. Like you're in the right place, so let me know how I can support you. Also, I do have a private practice. I work one-on-one with people and I have a course, and my course is called, Thriving and healing after toxic relationships and narcissistic abuse. But a lot of my course students, they take, like, you can still take that course and you can still work with me when you are in these relationships, because it is so important to focus on you. It's so, because they are literal energy and psychological parasites, and they will drain the shit out of you. So you really have to do things and invest in yourself. So I'm glad you're here. Nathan, Michael, you're acting like the smartest person in the room, but it's not working. Who? What if your narcissistic partner calls you a narcissist? You might both be a narcissist, not sure. Quakebox, it starts with idealization. Yeah. Devaluing. Yeah, that's the cycle of abuse. Idealization, which is also called love bombing, then the devaluing, then the discard, and they start hoovering. They'll like kind of poke back in, they're looking at your stories or whatever. Then they'll start the idealization all over again, but it's not quite the same, but you still get sucked back in, because it's literally like it's like a drug that's been created in your brain, this addiction you have to them. So it goes and goes until you get help, until you outgrow the dynamic. But it is when you attract or when you're getting in a relationship with a narcissist, there is an opportunity to understand like what attracted that. Like, why would I put up with this? I thought I was someone that wouldn't put up with something like this. And it just comes from some core wounding that you might not even know is there. So people get so triggered when I say that. They're like, you're victim blaming. I'm like, no, babe, I'm not. I'm trying to fucking empower you. And I'm doing the opposite, because I don't want you to do this again. There's no point in breaking up with someone or breaking up with the same person and getting back together with them. I'd rather you in that relationship and never attract that again, and have the love that you want, need, and deserve. I'm not sure what you mean, vent rent. Indian companies, there are so much politics and dumb talk. I don't know what that means. Narcissists are not empathic. No, they are the opposite of empathic, literally. They might pretend to be sometimes, but they're not. They pretend to be a lot of things. Nope. Yeah, Wim Hof technique is a great technique. He has an app. I'll often tell my clients to download it. Just anything that will keep you, it will remind you to do it until it's just part of your everyday situation. Bob, I like breathing techniques where it's 2 sharp breaths and then that one's great too. That regulates your nervous system quickly. There's so many good ones. And there's lion's breath where you're like, and then did you hear my jaw do it? It's like you're, because we hold tension here. So that's another one I like. You stick out your tongue. And by the way, when you stick out your tongue for 40 seconds or more, it immediately drops the cortisol levels in your brain and body. So, but with lion's breath, it connects those two things where you're like, and it works really well. But Bob, that's another good one too. Do Wim Hof and the breathing in the morning works really well to wake up and improve for workouts. We have terrible oxygen levels. Yeah. In cars and homes. Yeah. And if you travel a lot too, that's an issue too. That's why people that, are always on planes and stuff, the oxidative stress it can make you age faster. So getting outdoors and remembering to practice that deep breathing is important. I can't tell if you're actually hot or not behind all the makeup. Okay, well, you know what? I'm super cute. And you're obviously not, because you wouldn't be asking a dumb fucking question like that. James, doing good taking a day off from the gym after nice, James. I love it. BT Bob, here we go. I let resentment control my childhood, had enough of that, thankfully, it's not yeah, and, like, that is a part of the healing, like, let yourself get resentful, just don't stay there, because what I've noticed is, like, some people repress all of their resentment, especially in certain, like, religions, they're like, "Oh, no, everything's fine," and then they, what's called an exploding doormat, and then they completely blow up, or they, like, emotionally blow up, or they physically blow up and then they become 300 pounds because like they're just like eating all of their feelings. So go through the resentment phase and get angry and then release it. Just like in letting go, we want the feelings to come up and we want to notice them and we want to hold space for them. That's exactly what you did not get in childhood, was any space for your feelings being held. A lot of us, right? So can you hold space for yourself and like your inner children and let them feel all those things and then let it go, because you are not angry. You're not any of your emotions. It's just a physical and emotional state, and emotion is just energy in motion, but we have to let those flow through us. Miss Priya, I find justifying my choices or decisions to family gets exhausting. No, why are you, Miss Priya? We've talked about JADE: justify, argue, defend, explain, or sometimes even engage. But like, why are you over explaining yourself? You don't have to explain yourself to anyone, especially because people that you feel like you need to explain yourself to, they don't care. They don't even want to hear your explanation. They're not people that want to see or hear or care about your experience. They're just wanting their way. They're just like, why am I not getting my way? Why am I not getting what I want out of you? So there's nothing to explain. No, Miss Priya, you need to disengage. It's time to disengage. Yes, a big distance, Mikkel. Often find myself surrounded by those that don't agree with me. What do you recommend? Well, what's wrong with people not agreeing with you? I don't, like, a lot of my friends don't agree with me and we have great banter about it. Do you mean like they are disagreeing with you about some perspective in the world, or are they like not seeing or hearing you? Like, no, this is what I said and you're not listening? Because it's fine if someone doesn't agree with you. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Do you ever think, Salvatore, do you ever think that maybe you're autistic and didn't have the best sense of humor? Yeah, sure, I'm autistic. Um, Quakebox. Oh, you did divorce them, Quakebox. Naughty potato, you have, thank you. Salvador, maybe that's why. What are you talking about, Salvador? Like, if you don't have anything to constructive to say, just leave, please. Um, n no nope, something. God should be in the center of your life. Absolutely. I think that. I think that when God's in the center of your life, everything goes so much better. Um, Narcissism is not an armor. Go watch my videos. You can learn about narcissism. Fully baked. Dude, what the fuck? Have a twin on YouTube? Hi, Robert. Okay. I will look that up later. Keith, I'm put you in a timeout. Shut the fuck up or leave. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, by the way, and this is also something that happens when you're like do enough healing and stuff. Like, I'm not offended. I don't know, like you guys, when you're trying to spam my shit, I'm not offended. Like, my whole thing is this, like, I'm trying to create a safe space for you guys. Like, sometimes when people like write comments and stuff that I think they're trying to offend me, it's like funny. But like, I'm not offended by any of the dumb shit like you're trying to you know, I don't know, make me feel bad or whatever. Like, but I want to help people. I'm really passionate about helping people. So this space is for that. Um, let's see, child of the master, this is nice of you to do this for humanity. I love, a lot of people are struggling. Exactly. Thank you for time and investment into helping people. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm here for. I mean, it does, like, you guys, I get so many DMs that are like, I can't like afford therapy. Can you help me? Like, and I can't like sit in DMs all day and give people free therapy, but like I am providing this, space for you guys, and I want you guys to like encourage each other, and I want to encourage you, and that's why I'm like, ask me your questions, and if you don't want to ask me them like in the comment section, you could privately DM me and then I will answer them here. So yeah, that's what this space is for. Hi David Green. Terrible. Let me see. Let's see. Edward Bernays is referred to Sigmund Freud. Okay. Respect, listen, you learn, cut yourself out. She talks facts. I talk facts. I'm just trying to help you guys. Thank you, Trina. Oh my God, Michael, get over it. I'm here to help people. I'm not here to like, it's so funny. Like I don't know if you think you're going to like trigger me. You're not. You're just like, stop wasting people's time. Let's see. I think I might get a moderator to help me like sort through all this internet. Anyway, hello. Nice to see you. Let me know if you have any questions about mental health, relationships, especially if it involves, healing from, or just even coping with narcissistic abuse, borderline sociopaths. Can you help me with my mental health? Because okay. Let me scroll to, I'm almost at the bottom. Put you in a timeout. Bob, where'd you go? Loxoy, it's live. It's live. She's actually reading all of the chats. And I'm a little behind. Yeah, I'm all caught up. What's your question, Jimmy? Simon, I don't know, like a lot of people are like, yeah, I'll be your moderator. Like, DM me. I do need a moderator, and I was just going to find one on, and I can't think of the name of it right now. But if you are interested in that, let me know. Okay, bye, Drock. Gave you a chance. Yeah, and I do need someone to help with that. Let's see, Jimmy, what do you do when two people hate each other but love you and you don't want to pick a side? Why would you have to pick a side? Okay, so if any or both, and I don't know all the details of it, because sometimes it's like one person did something horrendous to the other person, or if they just don't like each other, if it's more, do you know what I mean? Like, if someone did something where it's like really bad to like illegal, and then the other person's like, how could you even be friends with them? Or is it something that like personal attacks that really has nothing to do with you? If it really has nothing to do with you, Jimmy, then I would say this has nothing to do with me, and you guys can talk, but I'm going to be friends with this person and I'm going to be friends with you. So, because a lot of times people consciously and unconsciously pit someone else against each other, like, or like, it's like, I'm offended by this person, so you need to be on my team. You even see this psychology like with politics. It's like, oh, well, if you don't think exactly like me, then you're not safe or you're against me. It's like, no, you can have a little bit of what's called ego flexibility. I can still have my opinion and my sense of sovereignty and be friends with this person or do this, and I could still love you. So I don't, have you given them that speech before? Like, hey, um, I love you and I love that person, and I'm not gonna pick a side, and I'm not gonna be stressed out because of that. It sounds like an opportunity to have boundaries and like know what your boundaries are and then really stick to them. And if your friends both love you, they'll understand that. They might not like it. That's okay. They don't have to like it, but they can understand it. How do I get over the regret of what? Did I miss something, Miss Priya? How do I get over the regret? I'm sorry, I must have missed something, Miss Priya. Can you write it? No, I can't find it. Get over the regret of what? Yes, May. I talk about David R. Hawkins a lot. You are amongst friends. The letting go technique by David R. Hawkins is it's either somewhere behind me or on my desk because I refer to it so much. So very familiar with that. And it's basically, it is what I just described, is that you bring the feeling to the surface. You allow yourself to feel it instead of suppressing it or being worried like, oh my God, I shouldn't be feeling this way. And all name calling. And it's like, just let yourself feel it all the way through. And if you really let yourself feel it all the way through, it's amazing that it just dissipates. It has no control over you. And then this pattern and feedback loop that you've been maybe having for a long time goes away. It literally dissolves. Yeah, Miss Priya, I don't know. I missed it. Here, I'm scrolling down. Where did I leave off? I have a relationship question. Ask me my dog's homework. Let me know what you were talking about. What's your question? Jove, have you ever been told you are attractive and can talk to women with ease, yet have never been chosen in a relationship? Yeah, that could happen. And what I would ask is, do you have a belief consciously or unconsciously that like you won't be chosen? That, oh, people that I like don't like me? And can you reframe that? Can you just decide from this moment on that you're chosen and that the women that you're attracted to, of course they like you. You have so much to offer and you're this amazing guy, and like say those things to yourself. Because if we're leading with a fear, sometimes it's even unconscious, like, oh, I like this person, they're not going to like me. But what if you came from it like, I'm want to date this person and of course they're going to choose me. Do you feel, May says, do you feel CBT or unconditional positive regard is more important? I like CBT. CBT is more neurological reprogramming. So you can rewire the brain faster that way. And a lot of my clients tend to respond that way. But both are good techniques. Okay. See that work every day. I don't feed into the folks. Okay. Left. Let's see. Jake Soy. I left my mother and sister a month ago because she's always nagging every morning, not joking. If you needed space from that, we have to protect our peace. Not that I know the whole story, but I'm just saying it's good to protect your peace. Hi, Walt. Bob. I'm a little inconsistent with attendance, but I don't mind helping out if you need a mod. I'm a mod on 3 channels. Oh, really? Yeah, Bob, maybe, I mean, let's chat about it. I also, you can DM me or there's like, I have my contact info and my link and like my link tree, but I mean, I would like that. And you know about mental health and you know, you're an amazing participant. Simon Paul, yes, you definitely do. I do. Um, so agreed. This chat is getting, I know it is. Miss Priya, I wish I figured out no contact or disengage habits when I, but like Miss Priya, because you said that before, like, oh, I wish I did this when I was younger. This is the only thing that exists is this right now. Like, why would you beat yourself up with regret? Like, regret is just a way to beat yourself up and keep yourself in that position. And so sometimes when we've been around a narcissist for a long time, that we're used to them mentally beating us up and saying all this stuff, and then when they're not around, that feedback loop is still like, hey, where's my cortisol? So you start doing it to yourself and beating yourself up. You are only in the present moment and you're learning things right when you need to. They're showing up right now. So instead of saying, oh, let me think about how to like beat myself up just stop. Just be like, you know what? I know what non-contact is now. I have the power to disengage now. That's wonderful that I'm learning this right now instead of spending the rest of my life. Like, focus on the present moment. Jimmy, what do you think about dream analysis? Does the subconscious communicate through symbols? Yeah, absolutely. I think the conscious and subconscious communicates through symbols. And Jung like talks about that a lot in his, and he, and it has been proven like through neuroscience often that symbols are they bypass all languages. And from the beginning of time, like, since the brain has been formed to the extent that it is now, we think in certain symbols. And so and it's interesting to see like which ones show up in your life. Even if you like certain shapes more, I know that sounds weird, or certain colors, I would look into that because they all mean something. And some of them can be like personal, or some of them can be just trying to communicate to you, your subconscious mind. So, and it's really like, I do this with my clients a lot. We'll get into like what things mean to them and why like certain things keep showing up. So it's kind of a very customized question, but yeah, I would definitely deep dive on that. I think you'd learn a lot from it. I feel like CBT is easier to conduct. Unconditional positive regard is really tough in practice when people throw out outlandish stuff. Yeah, exactly. And it could be just misinterpreted. And CBT is just so like to the point, and it's so structured. And there's a lot of different tools under CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, but it's just very structured. And like when you're working with clients, you want to create like this safe container for them where they feel the structure. So that's why it's like CBT is so nice. And if you're looking for a therapist or a coach or someone to work with, ask them what tools they have available. And I always recommend never, in my opinion, especially if you want to work with someone long term, hopefully they do more than one thing. So they're not just like, I'm a CBT therapist, or I'm a, whatever, like, I'm forgetting what it's called, where EMDR, like that was a big thing. You can't just do EMDR. And they're actually proving that it can do more detriment than good, depending on what you're doing it for. But like, people just got an EMDR certification and then ran out the gates because these people, like certain therapists, were making a lot of money because they were like exaggerated claims, or like they didn't really understand what they were doing to the brain, because you have to like go back and forth and like bring up a memory. And so you just be careful, guys. Like, ask a lot of questions. When I work with people, I tell them everything, and I'm like, if you have any questions about me or let me know. There should be full transparency when you're hiring someone, I believe. be an empowered client. Why is dealing with the present moment so difficult? Sometimes sound and smell can be triggering. How can we cope? Excellent question, Trina. So a lot of times it's difficult to be in the present moment because we can literally create addiction feedback loops that are about the past and then about the future. And that is literally the survival part of your brain, the limbic system that controls your heart and your breathing and all those like unconscious things that are just like, they're in a cortisol state. And it could be from some unresolved trauma, like, I don't know, someone beat you up when you were a kid or broke into your house, something like that, right? It could be from anything, or it could be from something small. Someone scared you, or I don't know, you fell off a slide. I'm just bringing, like, it could be any of those things. And so now your brain is like, I gotta worry about that. I gotta work. What if this happens? What if this happens? And so if you could just notice what you're doing and be like, okay, this is call it the inner critic. The inner critic is trying to keep me alive. And the inner critic doesn't understand that it's 2026 and I can just be in the present moment. And actually my life will be so much better if I'm just in the present moment. So giving yourself that pause, right? That positive pattern disruption by like, oh, my brain is doing that thing again. I'm letting the inner critic take over and completely focus on the future that hasn't happened or the past that doesn't exist anymore. And so, and with the past, it's like, can I let that go? And like, if a smell is triggering to you, that is a sign that your brain wants to heal something. It's really a sign that your brain wants to let something go. So bring up the memory of that smell and then be like, okay, and I want you to immerse yourself in it. Like list everything that's triggering about it. List it out loud, write it down, all of the things. What is triggering you about it? And then hold space for it and really feel into it. And then breathe deeply and allow yourself to let it go and really say, can I let this go? Can I let this triggering aroma, can I let it go? And then if a childhood memory comes up, this is where inner child work can be very helpful. Can you talk to that 8-year-old, whatever, 16-year-old and be like, you know what? That was triggering. It doesn't need to be triggering anymore. It doesn't need to control us like this anymore. And just really tell yourself that in a very loving and comforting way. Star Bar. How do I live in a sexless marriage at 57 after 30 years? We have grown-up children. I don't blame my partner, but I also don't want to waste my life and feel unsatisfied. That's an excellent question and quite a common one. And it's one of those difficult things because I don't know the whole situation, but it sounds like you really love this person, like you really love your partner, but you also want to connect sexually in that way. And like you do get married and you do decide to be in a monogamous relationship so you can share intimacy, like physical intimacy. And it does corrode other parts of the relationship. And so I'm going to assume that you have talked to your partner about this. If you have not, that's a good place to start for sure. And then if you haven't, it might be time to get uncomfortably honest. Now, is it a reason to dismantle the relationship? I've had clients like with this thing and I've done so many things with it. Like one person is completely shut down. So the other person's like, well, I want to have a sexual relationship with someone. So they try to do this like ethical non-monogamy thing. And that only works for a little bit because when you have sex with someone, you like them and you sort of want to do things. And so it could be time for the relationship to end, which is scary. And it can be scary, but it might be worth exploring that with someone. Like, hey, am I ready to have a new relationship and maybe discontinue this one and be in a relationship where I can get my sexual needs met, right? When you're 30 years ago, it might have been a priority to do the other things like have a family and all that, but now it's like, I want to just connect and travel the world and have good sex. And there's nothing wrong with that. So it sounds like Barbara, like Star Bar, it's a really good opportunity for you to do some really personal deep diving and decide, like, if you were to wake up tomorrow, this is one of the things I always ask my clients, if you were to wake up tomorrow and had the ideal situation, what would that look like? And often it's like, well, I would be having a lot of great sex with my partner. Okay. What if that option isn't available? What's the next, So again, the two things are, can you figure this out with your partner? And then if not, are you comfortable transitioning out of the relationship or creating, like, dating, again, like the non-ethical monogamy, I have not seen it work long term. It gets really messy. It's a short-term solution, in my opinion. Jonathan, none of us are perfect. We have all made mistakes. Seriously, the best thing you can do is give your life to Jesus. Yeah, like having God in the center of your life is gonna make everything amazing. Okay. Should someone go to therapy to quit cigarettes? No, I think that's a great thing. Like when I've had clients that are like, "Oh, I just need to give up cigarettes or drinking," there's always so much under there. Because if you have a compulsive habit or behavior around something, there's something that you're trying to numb out. There's something that you're trying to soothe. It's a nervous system regulator. So I think it's a wonderful thing to go to therapy for. If you have a good therapist or coach, they'll know how to like dismantle things under there, Jimmy, that are like even more profound, and you'll be like, whoa, and then you'll connect it to these other things. You might be like cutting off, like, there's something there always is. I've never had a client that has come in for like, oh, I want to get rid of this bad habit, and it's like the light bulbs start going off. It's like, I didn't even know that was connected to that. It's really rewarding. um Bob, that Michael I feel that, Michael, a good challenge is always good, especially if it brings up new ideas. Yeah, exactly, Bob. Exactly. I'm gonna wrap this up and definitely look at, um, my girlfriend is my what? Is on my ass for smoking. But that's probably because she cares, Bob, and she wants you to be healthy. But I used to do opiates and drink, so I feel a little justified. No, I'm gonna call you out too. 2 years off of booze. Yes, congratulations, 10 years off of opiates. I love that. We love that. Nice, Bob. But yeah, the smoking, I know, like when you'll see this in like the AA communities. They're just like smoking hardcore and drinking a lot of coffee. That's still a compulsive behavior. We still gotta, you know, there's still some type of maybe like dopamine deficiency. I mean, I understand that, and I've heard that a lot, that smoking helps you quit, but like at the end of the day, nice, sober for 147 days. Danny, I love that. Congratulations. Um, I was smoking a lot of weed to get myself to that moment, yeah, and pause, but I don't like that anymore. I'm cutting down and going to therapy. Good for it, because I don't want to take meds. Please don't take meds. That's my opinion, but please don't take meds, because I don't like what they do to the brain. I'm here to educate you guys about like neuroscience. It's one of the things I specialize in, and I just don't like what they do to the brain. If you follow me on TikTok, I talk a lot about there's certain like supplements and things that I think are wonderful for the brain. Do that first. Get Saffron. Like like go on my TikTok and look at, like, you'll see I have a bunch of videos. I'm going to post one tonight about it, because it's like so much better for you. And I know it's difficult to give up a bad habit like this, but maybe that could be our intention for the week. If you're new here, I talk about having an intention for the week. And if you are a smoker, can you start by smoking less? If you want to go for that cigarette, can you breathe first? Can you go for a walk? Can you do 50 push-ups before you have a cigarette? Something like that. What do you think about that, Bob? Saffron is wonderful. So saffron is it's like a natural, well, actually, the studies finally came out. I swear they were trying to suppress this information. So saffron has been clinically proven now to work better than SSRIs with none of the side effects. In fact, like SSRIs, they can kind of dull you and they definitely deplete your sex drive. And saffron actually, it can energize you. You just feel like happy. Like a lot of people replace it with like weed or like wine at the end of the night because you get like happy depending on how much you take. But it also elevates your sex drive. So instead of completely like cutting you off and like making you this like very passionless person, it not only is helping your brain in a lot of ways, but it's increasing all of the good things. So I would definitely incorporate saffron. I'm working on it, Bob says, lowering my usage every month. Yay. Okay. Yes, progress, not perfection. I love it. Walking every morning and workout. Love it, Bob. It's showing, and it's slow, but going through. Good. That's all that matters, right? We're always creating momentum towards something. So it's like, what are you giving energy to? Whatever you give your precious energy to, you're going to create more of in your life. It's like, okay, are we watering this plant or are we watering this plant? So it's like, what do you want? And as long as you're giving energy to the outcome that you want, it'll manifest. It will show up in your life. I smoke and the thought goes in my head and I say to myself, and I say no to myself and it leaves. I can go without a cigarette for hours. I'm working on quitting. Nice. Cherry. Oh, I'm sorry. Cheryl Schultz. Thank you for sharing that. I love that. That's wonderful, like progress. Oh my God. Bye. No sodas, no porn, no alcohol. Yeah. I love that, Danny. That's what I'm talking about. You're welcome, Trina. With Danny. Awesome. That is awesome, Danny. Okay. Bob, a lot of people in chat. I know you guys have a lot to be proud of. And like, that's what I was saying earlier today or earlier in this live stream is like, do not forget to celebrate your wins. First of all, because whatever you give energy to, you create more of in your life. But we're so hard on ourselves and we're so focused on, this task we need to do and getting through this. It's like, also celebrate every win. 147 days and 10 hours or whatever it is without alcohol, like celebrate it all. It's really important. Whatever it is, you reacted differently, like any of it. Nice, guys. Okay. Wait, did I miss something? What I've been doing. Okay, no, I did. I saw that. Proud. Yes, I'm proud of you guys too. It's awesome. And I will get a moderator. Like, actually, I have to say that's the first time that comments have been that bad. Actually, one other time they were kind of annoying like that. But sometimes there's like not that many people in here, so that's why I've been on the fence about getting a moderator. But I think I should just to have one. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, if you look up Dr. Amen, who is the guy that invented these, he's like one of the leading brain doctors in the world. Go on my TikTok page. I talk about it, and I found all the clips. And usually, like, if you go on my TikTok page, it'll show like I have this, so you can tell. Like, and but he talks about this, about how, like, a lot of his clients, and he studies the brain. Like, he's not just one of these psychiatrists that are like, here's your prescription, fuck off, give me some money, which I hate about psychiatrists. But he doesn't even prescribe any type of SSRI or any type of mental health meds anymore. So all of his stuff is like supplement based. And I love promoting his products because I just believe in them, and I just love what he's doing and how he's educating people about the brain. Dr. Amen. What's his first name? It's Daniel, Dr. Daniel Amen. And it's Amen just like you say, like amen. So look him up or just go to my TikTok page and you'll see what I'm talking about, because I get into all the education about that. I despise SRIs too. Like, I get like protective of my clients when doctors tell them to take them. It's so bad for you, and it's just like making the doctor money. That's all they care about. They don't even care about their clients. If you're, it's my opinion, and it's the truth. It's the truth. Good for you for going cold turkey. I know that does happen, but think about, so if you are hallucinating after you go off of something, think about what's fucking up your brain. That's what literally makes me so upset. Is like the medical industry does not actually care about people. So, and that's another reason I create this space for you guys to teach you about these things. And also because of like, I want to do it here. Like when I get enough watch hours, I think you can promote stuff on YouTube too, and I will, and educate about like different supplements and stuff. But yeah, it's just so important because you can literally heal yourself with very natural things. Yeah, but you did say, Michael, that like they've affected your sex drive. So that's, um, that's my opinion. I just don't like things altering your brain in a negative way. I'll send a message during my lunch break. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I would love that, Bob. Yeah, send me a message. In my link tree, there's my WhatsApp, so you could WhatsApp me, or DM me on Instagram or TikTok. Whatever's easier for you. Oh, quitting the SSRIs, that's good. Yeah, I feel so bad for people when they're getting off of them, off of SSRIs sometimes, because it's not pretty. Yeah, but it's worth it. It is worth it to quit. It's a struggle for a second, but it will be better. But yeah, especially if you're younger, like under 35, getting. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap up. That was fun. That was, besides all the spammers. Thank you for your patience with that. But I love answering your questions. I'm here for you. I'll see you on Soothing Sundays at 5 p.m. Pacific. And, give me your updates. You give me your wins, and we could talk about new things, and I'll answer more of your questions. Okay? I love you guys. So wonderful to see you. Yeah, it was a little weird for a minute, but they filtered. Yeah, it was weird. Oh yeah, of course. You're welcome, Michael. Yes, just keeping the space nice and safe for you guys. That's my only priority. Okay, I love you guys, and I will see you on Sunday. You're welcome. Take care, you guys.